Greetings, everyone. Welcome once again to the Outhouse podcast. I am your host, Ozzina Arcane. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mad Matt, Test Zero, and Ojunix. How's it going, guys?
I've got
I am
migraine.
I am pissed.
I am not as pissed. I'm not so grump.
We're oh, reference to a thing I never watched.
Me neither.
Basically.
Oh, I only watched it until JonTron left.
I've only seen clips, and usually they're clips redone with like puppets. Those are actually really good. I'm sad that they aren't around, at least not as far as I'm aware.
So today we are talking about. I love that it's basically the movie title is basically the name twice because it's DOA, Dead or Alive. Like they couldn't just call it one or the
Redundancy.
other.
I'm pretty sure they probably just did that because they wanted so people didn't go, what does
What the
DOA stand
noise?
for? Yeah,
I wish. Yes, 2 tickets for DOA, please.
DOA.
you, you know the sad part is there probably were people who actually said that, and the ticket.
You have to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind the average intelligence of theater goers. That's if you've seen the poster for Ratatouille, they actually spell phonetically how to pronounce it.
Yeah, and sadly there are a lot of moviegoers. They're just not very. I'm just gonna stop there.
Wow,
It's not that they're dumb. It's just that they don't care. It's just this is who's gonna see movies. Just the regular people.
my,
I got
char- my,
normies.
my character model really wigged out when I scratched my eyebrow. It like shrank into a corn cob and then resized back to normal.
Well, I mean, I guess I also should.
Channeling drill.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because when you see an animated film in the theaters, and parents just go, "Oh, it's animated. It's safe for a kid," and then suddenly in the animated movie, somebody's head gets blown up. It's like, I thought this was for kids.
Animation is
Who
not
cares?
just for
It's
children.
rated R. Okay, so start things out. We'll kind of go around and so Matt, what were your expectations going into this awful movie?
I knew that it was apparently bad. I knew it was very boring, and there was definitely some boring parts here or there. I expected some fights, and maybe that would make up for it. Not really. Um, Otherwise, I have played one of the games before. I do own Dead or Alive for PlayStation 2, and yeah, they failed to even make most of the characters actually look like the characters, except for like a tiny handful of them, and they're barely cameos. Slow clap.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the most accurate characters were like the least important ones in the movie.
And most of them were gone by about the 30-minute mark.
That's a what's the word? A
Accurate.
little too nice. I was gonna say more like 20 minutes because this movie kind of was, even though
They
there
kept
were
one or
more.
two of the accurate ones around a little bit longer, but still then they did nothing with them.
Right.
All right, so Test Zero, what were you expecting going into this?
I was expecting to see hot women in bikinis fighting. I got pretty much exactly what I expected. I am only really familiar with this movie by osmosis. I'm quite familiar with Spoonie's review of it, where he talked about a bunch of fighting game movies. And he really kind of said this was one of the more accurate runs, because that's basically what the games are about.
I mean, I love the video. I love his reviews, but I would just highly disagree on the accuracy.
Well, I mean, out of the freaking fighting game movies video game movies we've watched for this so far, it's more accurate than most of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's really the
Yeah.
sad thing.
As far as quality as a movie, Super Mario
Oh no,
Brothers
this is a terrible movie.
Super
but at least
Mario-
it's accurate to the game.
yeah, Super Mario is far less accurate but far better of a movie.
Yes.
And last, Ojunix.
We're gonna open up the floor to you because I think you have a lot you want to say about this.
What were you
We
expecting?
need to allow this man to unpack
Well, this
it.
is just what were you expecting going into this, just based on your memories of having watched it before?
I think that another case of I was really stupid when I saw this when I was younger, because now watching back this, I am beyond livid on just how Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to actually bother looking into the damn lore of the video games because the writers out think it's a fighting video game. There is no lore. Bullshit. There is fucking lore. You just didn't want to bother. God, I am pissed.
You saw this movie
Like-
when you were younger. I can think of 2 reasons why you probably liked it back then.
Yes, they were probably the same reasons why I even liked the Resident Evil movies, at least the first couple, until, got older, played more of the games, and realized, oh shit, these movies suck.
I mean,
Wait, so
I will say most of the women in this are more attractive than Mila Jovovich.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
That's probably the one plus I will give this movie. Suck it, Paul Anderson.
He's the one that made this movie as well.
I know. He also made Mortal Kombat. What? Why does this guy keep getting the rights to to make video game movies?
I don't think he's going to anymore after Monster Hunter.
Right, because it bombed.
It bombed so bad.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked Monster Hunter, but yeah, that one did kind of suck too.
I mean, I can understand to a degree. Not probably can make the women obviously not look exactly like the video game characters, but there were so little details you still could have gone and did, like make Christina's hair white or silver, depending on your vision of how it's supposed to be.
Get actual
But, yeah.
Asian actresses.
I was gonna say you had 2 Asian actresses, and one of them is not fucking Ayane.
And aren't they supposed to be sisters?
Yes.
They should be related. They should at least look the same race.
Not only that, I mean, she's practically both Kasumi and Yanni have practically been the main characters all the way up till 4, actually 5. I think that. Well, no, that's more. It's kind of back and forth between Kasumi and Helena, but fact is, those are the main characters. And again, yes, Ayane is Asian. You don't even have her being played by an Asian actress. No, you have Lei Feng played by an Asian actress, and she's in the movie for all of maybe a total of 5 minutes at best.
She didn't even get a line.
2 minutes of her being on the plane with everybody else, and 3 minutes of her getting her ass kicked by Ganfu, the old man.
That was not 3 minutes. I don't think that was
No,
a
not
minute.
even.
That was barely a minute.
Fine, 3 minutes tops.
So-
oh yeah, and Helena is fucking British. She's not a teen pop. God damn it!
So I think we'll let you.
So you like the movie?
We'll let you smolder for a bit so we can move on for now. Me going into this, the only thing I remembered about this movie is when I watched it, thinking, Kevin Nash was the only thing interesting about this movie. That remains to be my opinion.
That's sad that pretty much that's the only good thing about this movie.
Oh yeah, and he was basically gone after he got beaten by his daughter, and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, he was actually enjoyable.
Yeah, because they had a pro
He even
wrestler.
gave a thumbs up after he got his ring out.
They had a pro wrestler playing a pro wrestler. Funny
It's
how
not
that
exactly a
worked out so
stretch
well.
to the role, but
I see this man needs to practice real hard for learning how to play this character.
yeah, it's not exactly a role that requires range. But he was charismatic. He knew how to play to the camera.
I mean, he was
Yeah.
he was easily the most accurate of the bunch
Yeah.
to the video game counterpart.
You had a guy playing a character that's basically a parody of Hulk Hogan that was friends with Hulk Hogan in real life. So
there you are.
So I think what we're through now is let's talk about who we thought was like the worst character in this. Starting with Matt.
Worst character. What? You're picking the corn from the field here. And that's pretty
Picking the corn
okay.
from the toilet here.
That's actually more accurate.
There seems to be an extra large amount of my stool. Well, actually, here's something I will say. So the main villain of this piece, right?
Donovan, yeah.
Donovan. I know that actor. I know that actor because he played a villain for Doctor Who. He played one of the main villains, in fact, the Master. I I will say that he played a very campy version of the Master, but it was actually a genuinely, in my opinion, an interesting version of the Master because the Master can get campy once in a while.
Which Doctor was he the Master against with?
Number 8
Oh, okay.
for the TV
Right.
movie.
Oh, yeah, that one. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that he, while he was very jacked for this movie, not sure if that was fake or not, I can tell by the way he had to act that he was not very thrilled by this role. I think he was probably here just for the money.
Oh yeah, you could kind of feel that from like a lot of them.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty standard for most of the actors in this movie.
Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure when you watch his expression upon that last freeze frame of the movie that he's a part of before he dies in the fire, you can literally see his soul leaving his body, going, "Why did I join this piece of shit?"
Oh yeah, the money.
Well, no,
The money that the other characters didn't get away with in this movie.
he didn't have a look of worry on his face. He had a look of sweet release.
Oh, thank goodness this movie's over.
And it's like,
Thank God.
yeah, that was like, yeah, I bet that was literally the actress like, thank God, I can finally go home.
And I totally understand why he has that particular look of sweet release because my land, does this man have like the worst bullshit plot and some of the most generic, bland, nonsensical writing.
Things I do for a summer house.
Shame he
Or
dies
his
to
yacht.
shame he dies to CGI fire.
Well, I get to finally be out of here by CGI fire. Bye bye.
TZ, did you have anything particular that stuck out to you as being really bad about this movie?
Yeah, I expected the fighting to be. The fighting was okay. It was probably slightly above average, although a lot of the times it's kind of hard to follow exactly what's going on because I would imagine most of the actors are kind of trained fighters, or at least trained in at least
A
movie
little bit
fighting.
hand. Yeah.
But you could tell that there was a lot of times that they had to take edits to cover up problems with the choreography.
I was going to say, I will say that I'll let you argue the fact that the fighting in the movie might not have been bad if it wasn't for the fact that the choppy editing and constant camera moves wouldn't have ruined it all the dang time.
Oh yeah, that was the biggest issue. That's what I like about a lot of times. Is like even in a shitty movie like this, usually if there's good fighting and they can show the fighting, you can at least enjoy that. That's what I liked about Final Fantasy: The Spirit, not the Spirit, Advent Children.
Advent Children,
Yes.
yeah.
Advent Children is like the plot makes no sense, but at least the fighting is really cool.
It's because they actually did choreographing while they were, animating the
And they had
plot.
control of the
They did
camera and everything,
choreographing,
so they
decent action set
edited exactly
pieces.
how they needed to.
Nice
We're
not
effects
talking
and
about that
decent
right now.
character moments, and that's all you really needed, even if the plot didn't make that much sense. But the rest, yeah, just
And
that's
this,
not
they,
this movie.
and this,
Yeah.
it's clear they couldn't bother to even get professional people to actually bother teaching them how to fight properly. So we'll just keep swinging the camera like it's on
Swinging
a
the camera around,
string.
zooming in
on
and
string.
out, do awkward things.
Yeah, honestly, I was having way too much fun with this movie. This movie is too stupid to hate. It's like watching someone with no lips trying to whistle. It's just so amazing.
Ouch.
One thing that I will add that was stupid about the fights in this is they really had an obsession with the fights involving stuff being thrown at people.
Yeah.
For no reason, yeah.
I'm gonna throw my
It's almost
shoe.
like the
I'm gonna
movie
throw
was
my
being shot in
shoe.
3D.
I'm gonna throw my shoe. Now I'm gonna throw my other shoe. Now I'm gonna
Yeah,
knock
throw some
over a big
chains.
vase on you.
I'm gonna kick your gun out of your hand.
I'm gonna throw an entire pouch full of needles, and then I'm gonna outrun the needles and stab you with them somehow.
Oh, or the
Literally
very
gonna
first.
throw a plastic bowl at you, and somehow that's gonna hurt you, even though you're basically act like you're built like a tank.
Or how about back to that gun that I kick? Oh, but wait, my bra comes down to me first, even though I'm pretty positive the gun would came back to you first.
Yeah,
'cause
the
of
gun-
gravity.
Gun weighs more than a bra. It's gonna reach you before the bra that's falling through the air, unless it lands on the bra and brings the bra down with it. In which case, you're not gonna magically put it on as it's falling through the air.
You're looking at physics in.
What physics?
It's just one of those things where it just really draws your attention to it, though, because it's just on top of all the other things with the like, it's one of those things you'd be able to ignore if like the movie felt well written otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
And well, there's the other part of that particular scene too is that they draw specific attention to that scene because they make it the prime focus of the shot, which also alerts you to the fact that what you're seeing is a piece of digital garbage that doesn't look like it's doing what it should be physically doing.
Right.
So it makes it even more obvious and more blatant, and just makes your head hurt harder.
Yeah. Then that whole scene, like, people don't know what we're talking about. It was a scene with Christy where the cops were trying to arrest her because she had stolen something. I can't even remember what.
Cash.
Cash.
While we're doing this, I'm gonna look up names as we bring them up because I
Cash
can't
and diamonds.
always remember the names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cash and diamonds, and
Yeah.
but the cops. She needed to get dressed, and the cop literally handed her her bra by picking it up with
Draped
his
over
pistol.
his gun.
Yeah, he picked it up with his pistol and held it
Oh
out
hell,
for her.
that was her.
like
Damn.
like no cop would ever hold his gun out towards someone they're arresting.
Not like that, no.
If you'd just thrown it to her, she would have had no way to escape.
I'm gonna bring up one thing before I hand it back to Ojunix again. One thing that really just stands out as being weird about this movie to me, and I mentioned it while we were watching it, is that, man, how Liu Kang has fallen. The guy that played Liu Kang in both the Mortal Kombat movies is just
And
like
it's
it's just
after Mortal Kombat Annihilation, is like, I can't do any worse than this.
he's just an anonymous henchman in this who gets
That appears
schooled twice.
Yep. Matter of fact, he gets schooled so hard the second time they don't even bother to show it.
Yeah.
They just see the character who stole his boat moving on later on.
Yeah, the second time he runs into Tina, he just goes, "Oh no," and it cuts to him not being there anymore.
Yep.
I bet they actually shot a fight scene for that, but they cut it for time.
I would not be surprised.
Got for time and now sheer boredom.
So,
We're gonna have our blonde bombshell beat a cripple.
Ojunix, who was your least favorite casting choice in this?
Once again, the needle in the haystack. Which one do you go with?
Leaning forward in anticipation.
Oh, where should I even start? Let's see. Don't even have a fucking Asian for the Asian character. We have a not a British woman for playing a British character. We have Donovan, who's three layers of what the fuck.
We haven't even
You know
talked
what?
about Hayabusa.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's probably the one that bothers you the
Yes.
most.
Yes. Ryu Hayabusa, aka the Super Ninja, aka one of the hardest video game franchises known to man, but also well beloved, and it has two great video game series, and of course is officially canon with the Dead or Alive universe. You have the man who could literally kill a whole room of people within probably 10 seconds or less, and just leave the room
Depends on
and
how
literally
fast he's moving.
and
That
leave the
boy's
wall
pure momentum.
and leave the rooms covered in red jelly.
And they can't even call him Ryu in this movie.
But no, not only is he pathetic, not only is he just a sorry excuse for a ninja, not even coming close to the levels of Super Ninja. That
None of the
Hayabusa is.
ninjas in this movie are any good.
Good.
Oh.
No, yeah.
And you got
Yeah.
ninjas, you got like 2-3 ninjas, you got an assassin, and none of them are stealthy.
Oh shit. Wait, sorry, I shouldn't even call him Ryu because they couldn't even call him that in the movie. Hayabusa, who one attempt actually tries to be stealthy when he tries to sneak into the main base to try to see if he can find Hayate. He gets discovered within barely a minute of just sliding across against the walls, and again, barely can fight against a bunch of people. Well, goons, more or less. Let's face it. And oh yeah, the only actual official fight he ever has, which is against Bayman, he can't even fucking win. He literally has to be saved by the nerd.
Yeah, speaking. I
The
realize
nerd with a
we
pipe.
we haven't even discussed what the actual storyline was. Like, I mean,
Who
there's,
cares what the
but we got to at
It's a
least
fighting game movie. Everybody knows the
we
storyline.
got to
There's
at
an
least
asshole running a competition and somebody's trying to win it.
we got to at least briefly go over it. Is just so people have some context for some of the stuff
can
we're
make
talking
this
about.
real brief for you. and
I
give
got
you
it.
more
I
than
got
enough
it.
details.
I got it already. The plot is, there's a fighting game or I just said fighting game tournament. There's a fighting tournament.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
There's a fighting tournament, and the reason Kasumi ends up going there is because her brother Hayate went missing there, and shady shit is going on, and the main villain's plot that isn't even revealed until like the very end of the movie is that he wants to steal people's fighting data to make himself able to fight, and then sell the technology to, I guess, criminals. It just showed a bunch of shady people on like a computer screen.
I would be surprised those people that were on the screen were probably just people in the staff, and they just took quick pictures of them.
I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been
people
surprised
in
if
the
those
comment section that are about to give you a spicy take on what the liberal media isn't telling you.
I wouldn't have been surprised
I'm
if those
pretty
were.
sure those guys threw the grips.
I wouldn't have been surprised if those were just random mugshots that they stuck on the screen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. That could make sense too.
But and the thing is, this is going to be a recurring. The main villain's overall scheme is going to be like a recurring theme in fighting game movies that we're probably going to cover, because they always seem to have some magical way to get the fighting abilities of all the other fighters to make themselves super powerful. But in this, for some reason, it's stored in a pair of sunglasses that can get knocked off his face.
It's like
And somehow just having those sunglasses, like basically shoot a bunch of images as to what's probably going to happen in the next couple of seconds is somehow going to give you the edge to dodge everything. What?
Yeah, that's just that's them predicting the future or predicting the combat style of your opponent, which I honestly,
Unless you're a skilled fighter, that's
evil
still not going to
schemes
help you.
that makes sense, because if you know what your opponent's going to do, if you can predict their fighting style, then you can battle them without any necessarily having training of your own. So, I mean, that's a solid enough plan. I could see that being a very good invention, but I don't know why he has to be evil about it.
Here's my thought is, you introduce nanomachines and throwing the how nanomachines work joke out there. You could also maybe just have an emphasis of, okay, they put the nanomachines in them because they can start recording their body fighting style data.
Yeah,
okay, then here's what you do. Then you take other nanomachines, put them in his body. They send the data through him, and then the nanomachines basically just take over and just move his body how they read them.
As ridiculous as that would be, that would actually make more sense than the stupid glasses.
Thank you.
I assume the glasses are just kind of an interface. I figured he already does have the nanomachines. The glasses are just a way of them talking back to him, essentially, give him information about the fight.
That's not the way they put it on screen.
But then once they destroy the glasses, he's like useless.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like that's like a very big weakness. All you would have to do is just either get the glasses off of him, or better yet, if somebody just had a gun, shot him in the head.
He just needs to get one of those dorky straps that goes around the back so you don't lose your glasses.
It just why sunglasses?
Don't let Goro near him. He's gonna grab those sunglasses right off his face and crush them right in front of him.
Those are $5 million sunglasses.
That's his asshole.
Oh, so
Shut up, nuts.
Oh. I lost my train of thought.
I just want a side little tangent because I just want to talk about this. The fucking posters suck.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's start with, okay. Besides, a lot of them don't even look accurate to their characters. At least Kasumi is Asian and has sort of the ninja garb she wears from the games. I can't even tell if it's blue or not. But for some reason, the world's deadliest assassins will enter. Only the best will survive. The only one who's an assassin is Christina. The rest are either just regular fighters or soldiers to some degree of other nations.
Either soldiers, ninjas.
hire bodyguards, an old man, girls
You
who
have Tina
literally.
with a katana. That she only appears at the katana in like the end of the at the end of the movie at the
And,
stinger.
and now you could say, technically, aren't ninjas supposed to be assassins? To a degree, yes, but that's not what their role is. They are ninjas or kunichis, technically, with the females. So technically, the only assassin is Christina. Now we go to a next poster. The fate of the future king lies in the hands of 7 unlikely heroes. King!
It
Yeah,
does
there's no
not go-
king. There's no king mentioned at all in the movie.
There's no king in this movie.
No.
I'm assuming because Kasumi is defined as a princess.
Even though she was
Maybe.
in the technical lore, she was the second to be the clan leader, not a princess.
What's with the random kanji behind the DOA logo?
I have no fucking do. And not only that, this poster for some reason has a Yanni in a bikini, which she never was in one in the entire movie.
Nope.
Yeah.
Outfit
And then-
not to be seen in this entire film.
Granted, you're also not
Then the
talking
two
about.
guys kind of pushed to the back.
I do want to point out you're not talking about the poster we actually have on screen on the podcast, but
I'm game to that. Now, the one thing I will give it that you had Kasumi forefront, which makes sense because she was one of the main protagonists in the game series. But then we go to the poster that they went with. You have Christina, who's never been the main character at all. In fact, she's more of the side characters. She's a fucking assassin who murdered Helena's mother.
And she has just this this
And
dopey ass
she-
look on her face.
And she just literally just staying in the front, just going, "Hey, look, I got tits."
She looks like Valerie Irons.
While Kasumi, the actual main character, is on the side, just holding a katana up, like they do for a lot of Asian characters on posters. Hey, they're Asian. Give them a katana and they'll hold it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just hold it there. Just hold it.
Fucking Christ, I hate this movie.
speaking
And
of
that's
Why the one
speaking
with
of
the hair is not holding a katana.
speaking of Asian characters, you know,
Oh,
we were
God.
talking about how fast Lei Fang got eliminated from the movie, which
Mhm.
which was by Gen Fu, and it honestly looked like he threw her to her death.
And
And then we
Trevor
don't
after-
see how he got eliminated. They just skip over that fight. They don't even tell you who he fought. He's
Yeah,
just
we-
gone.
Oh well, dead or alive.
Yeah, because I mentioned like at just some point you just see Kasumi and Hayabusa's names already now in the third tier. We don't even get to see their second fights.
Yeah.
They just happen off screen.
We don't know which one of them fought who. We just know that they beat somebody and eliminated somebody without us seeing it. Like I would have rather seen Gen Fu fight somebody than seeing Zack fight Tina.
Because why would you ever want to see fighting in your fighting game movie?
No shit.
Fighting in a fighting
and-
game movie?
I mean,
Honestly,
yeah,
I would kind of
Madness.
respect one of these fighting game movies if they did just literally show the competition, just like 8 fights or something.
A
with
proper
just, like,
competition,
8
yes.
Okay.
8 really well made fights leading up to the
I-
final one.
I
Make it something
understand.
like Slumdog Millionaire, where it's like all
Yeah.
tense between the battles and everything, and just have like these 8 really awesome fights.
Or what was that? What was that one movie?
give us a hint. Maybe we can help.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it. It was a really popular one of his.
You're
also
talking
like
about
a
you're talking about
tournament
the
fight.
one where he sticks his fists in like the stuff that stick to his fists,
Maybe.
like where it's like some sort of like fighting ring thing. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know
It's
what
like
you're
Can't remember the
talking.
name of it.
Never Back Down?
I know what you're talking about,
Was
but
that
I
Van
don't.
Damme? That probably wasn't Van Damme.
I know what movie you're talking about. I just can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the name's not coming to me right now, but yeah, it's that movie had literally focused on mostly the arena, but it also had side bits like I believe the local police force for whatever reason was trying to stop Van Damme from going to the fight,
Bloodsport.
and he would have to actually fight them. Bloodsport. Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
I had to look on IMDb.
I was do it, but you beat me to it.
Yes, Bloodsport was an excellent arena fighting movie, and that was made like what 2 decades before this one.
Well, it probably helped that Van Damme was actually a martial artist.
A little bit. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure a couple of his opponents are also other famous martial artists that have appeared in other movies since the 80s as well.
Of course, you realize mentioning Van Damme, we're going to have to do Street Fighter at some point.
Yeah, but I want to do like multiple Street Fighter movies in a row, which is why we haven't touched those yet.
Speaking of Street Fighter, let's talk about Ryu.
You mean the fact that they won't
Which,
say
yeah,
his
we're
name?
pretty sure that's why they couldn't call him Ryu, because they didn't want it to be confused with Street Fighter.
Lamely enough.
It's a stupid reason, but it's a pretty good one.
It's also very possible because, again, the Ninja Gaiden license might be a different thing, so they might not
Oh,
able to
different
use
Very
company
the
too,
name.
possible
yeah.
as well, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like this movie
some
was
reason.
made by the game company. They might have only licensed out the rights for DOA and
Yeah.
not Ninja Gaiden, even though they're interlinked.
Right, because Ryu has been DOA since 1 or 2. I forget which one it was he first came in.
I'm sure too.
But I mean, it was stated. I mean, that was the same Ryu Hayabusa from the original Nintendo and arcade games, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
Which
matter of fact,
then-
his retro costume was an unlockable.
And then he would get his reboot series, the new Ninja Gaiden trilogy, later on during the Xbox era. Speaking of characters, okay, I actually have to make an apology. At first, I stated Tina was probably my least favorite at the start. She probably was actually the most enjoyable out of the bunch.
Yeah, I don't really like her as Tina because Tina was like one of my favorite characters. But as far as just the people that are in this movie, yeah, I can agree with that.
Not as insufferable as some of the others, yes.
I mean, again, I didn't care for the actress. Nothing against her. I'm sure she's fine. But personality-wise, also just didn't really fit her. But at the same time, she probably had some of the better fights, in my opinion. And again, just like every time she was on screen, it was kind of enjoyable. Either when she was dealing with the pirates, her dad, or just being sadly during the shit insane.
I haven't really done the math, but I think she gets more screen time than Kasumi.
Kasumi, which again,
Yeah.
it's like literally the first plot we get in is about Kasumi leaves her ninja clan, which would turn her into a I'm sorry, they keep calling Shinobi when it's Shinobi.
They spelled it in the captions. They spelled it Shinobi.
It's like that's not how you spell it. It doesn't matter if she's a he or she. It's still
That's not how those.
it's an I, not an E.
And I'll tell you exactly why she gets more screen time. As I said, everybody I knew that talked about this movie when it came out, when they were talking about Kasumi's actress, they all referred to her as a butterface.
Ugh.
Jamie Presley is just most likely they knew she was more marketable with guys than the girl that played Kasumi.
Even though the first plot they put in is Kasumi going
Right,
out of her clan
right.
Yeah,
to go
this is
save her
supposed to
brother.
be the entire point is Kasumi's thing. There's some slide plot about them trying to steal money that doesn't really come from anything, but the main plot is Kasumi trying to find.
Her brother.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, even Christine, Jesus Christ.
Christy.
Even though
Christy.
Christy.
You're adding N's that aren't there.
Just fuck it. I mean,
Fuck it, do it live.
even though they get
Fuck
her,
this movie.
even though they get her character completely inaccurate, assassin and thief, she was not a thief, she was an assassin, and she didn't do one goddamn ounce of assassination in this entire movie.
Nope.
You know.
But at least her plot is, oh, she's just after the money. Well, and Kasumi is after to save her brother. What's Tina's plot? I want to show
She's
my
just
dad.
trying
I want to
to
show.
win.
Well, no, Tina's plot was I want to show my dad and the people that I'm not fake.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of her actual
Well-
character in the games. Was she
well, yeah.
wanted to go beyond wrestling?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the big things was she wanted to go into modeling, and the whole joke story with her dad is he's trying to prevent that because he's afraid of people ogling at his daughter.
She wants to prove she's not fake, so she wants to go into modeling.
Yes.
Yeah, that again, that was in fact that's one of the endings. One of the endings was you see Tina modeling in a bunch of scantily clad outfits or bikinis, and then you see her dad pulling out the magazine and ripping it apart, screaming at the top of his lungs because he's like, Because he's
Yeah,
upset that
because we know models are all about the realness.
Now we're talking about the
Oh,
games, though.
I know, I know, I know.
I
It's
just want to
tangent.
while we're just talking about the absurdity of this movie, I want to bring up a moment we all kind of said, "Wait, what?" Was the part where Kasumi and Ayane were fighting each other in that bamboo forest,
Forrest.
and
Incredible.
Kasumi took
Yeah.
one of the things, it got chopped up a bunch, and it split open like octopus tentacles, and then grabbed the sword out of Ayane's hand, and we're all just like, I don't think any part of what just happened on screen made any sense.
Technically, the one that got
Does
cut
that
up,
physics?
the one that got cut up, she throws away. She just grabs a very bigger, thicker bamboo stick. She hits another bamboo against it, which splits up the end part, and like you said, opens up like a octopus, grabs her entire arm, and then she twists it and throws her like a freaking um, spin top, which of course.
There were like so many weird moments, and like that was the other that was the what made there's a lot of action scenes, but most of them had weird shit in them that made it impossible to enjoy them because you're just like, what? Why?
Either that or the weird shit made them even more enjoyable. So.
Why are they having like a 5-on-1 fight against the final boss, and they're all just fighting on bamboo ladders that are over a pit?
And then they're like throwing chains at him, and he grabs them with his arms, and it's like it would be in a better made movie. That would be a really cool fight scene, but it just kind of falls flat.
Because they keep changing the angles, and the chains are obviously fake digital pieces of garbage.
A lot of the stunts in this, you would almost see Jackie Chan do them.
Except they'd be real and they'd be really cool.
And
Yeah.
remember at the beginning of the movie when they were telling Kasumi, "You can't leave, or you'll be your life is
Exiled or
forfeit.
whatever.
Your life is forfeit." And then they're all bowing to her while trying to get her to not leave, and she literally runs on the shoulders of the guards that are bowing to her when they're supposed to be trying to stop her. They literally just let her use them as footstools to run across the courtyard.
While chasing the katana that she throws that just magically outruns her.
That
Hits
she
into
uses to springboard over a 20-foot wall.
And then she's wearing a hang glider on her back.
for some reason, like it's been there this
Like-
whole time.
Like that being at the beginning of the movie, it's like you see that and you're like, oh fuck, I know I'm in for a shit show
You
now.
get into it, and it's like, okay, this kind of sets the tone of what this type of movie is going to be. And it does have hints of that throughout it. They have like really dumb sound effects. You have people cocking their fists
Oh
a
yeah.
couple of times, actually.
They
You have
twist
like punches that land with the sound of a gunshot.
they twist their fists and it sounds like a gun being cocked and we're like, where you go? Did he just cock his muscles?
And then Tina does it later.
What happens if you run out of punches and you have to reload?
I get it because they're both American. Guns,
No.
America.
The
It's
thing
bloody.
the thing
Even
is
non-Americans
the thing
did
is yeah, Leon and Bayman did it too and they're not American.
Yeah. Oh, they did. I guess I must have missed it with those two.
Oh, and Tina and Boss are fighting. They have the Texas music playing, the Western music.
Oh,
The
God.
country. Not really that bad, but
Were
it
you
might
just
as well
humming
have been.
That sounded like the Benny Hill theme you're humming.
I was just trying to do generic banjo music.
I just also just want to throw the Ayane at the start when Kasumi is still in her kimono, walking, all the ninjas after trying to stop her going, but then bowing. Then suddenly a kunai comes out of nowhere, rips her kimono off, and then a smaller kimono's under it, and does a flip and yada yada, stupid CGI effects that look shit. And they stick their swords at each other, and Yanni's like, "I'm blood sworn to kill you if you leave," but then she bows because reasons. And then later, when they did the fight in the bamboo forest, Kazumi reminds her, "I had to find my brother." Her response is, "He's dead." And then when Hayate is back in the movie, alive, and Paul gets his ass kicked by the final boss, Ayane saves him, kisses him, and it's like, "I knew you were alive all along."
You're such a lame bitch.
It's like, bitch, what is your character?
Yeah, but of course, at least the movie didn't bring up the fact that she's actually his half sister, which would have made it much weirder.
Yeah, well, half sister cousin. I am not joking. That's how her family bio.
Though the thing is with like royal families, that shit actually happened a lot.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
technically,
because you got to keep it in the family in
and she
more
was
ways
only,
than one.
and to be fair, and Yanni was only born because her mother was raped.
Good night, everybody. But we're at this point, we're just rambling about the weird shit that happened in random scenes. I think we've kind of
There's a lot of weird shit that happened in random scenes, though.
the thing is, I think we've gotten a point
More than a fair point to cross. Yeah, this is a really random ass movie.
So we should probably wrap it up. We'll go around. Matt, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, this movie is a hot hodgepodge.
That's a word for it.
Just the characters barely, if at all, vaguely resemble any of the characters that they're supposed to be. The dialogue is absolutely dreadful. The action scenes could have possibly been okay if it wasn't for the fact that the editing was such hot garbage.
And the camera just seemed like it was on an LSD.
Yes, again, part of the editing. They wouldn't stop moving the dang camera around. This movie felt like it wanted to be a dollar store Matrix, and it feels like it's a dollar store Equilibrium.
It's like
Lower
a
budget
dollar
and
store
more
Matrix with a
garbage.
bit of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon mixed in there.
With a little bit of that too, and they still didn't do a very good job of that either.
No.
Everybody's on bungee cords. Boing, boing, boing.
Fire Fu.
So,
That's
TZ,
Fire Fu, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
TZ, you got any final thoughts?
This is kind of I compared to this movie to Mamma Mia, which is a weird comparison, but it's for a very, very specific demographic of people who you just kind of put this movie on when you're not really want to watch a movie, but you're like preparing for a party or you have people around and you just want to have something on and
Background
it's like the
noise.
most shallow, vapid base interest. And you got beach volleyball, massages, people getting kicked through walls, vaguely implied lesbianism, TNA, hot girls fighting. This is one of those movies that you could just watch any random clip and you get pretty much exactly what the producers intended for you to get out of it. It's a fighting scene, or it's like a TNA scene, or people complain about the accuracy of video game movies, and this is basically what a lot of things are. They literally have them playing beach volleyball and doing massages to each other. So somebody played the game when they're writing this movie. So in that sense, I don't think it's a terrible movie if that's what you're looking for. But if that is what you're looking for, I guess there's no shortage of movies to provide that. So I don't know exactly
There's
what they're
better
trying to
versions
do.
of this.
Yeah. Basically, there's better versions of the same thing.
Oh yeah,
out
absolutely. There's way better versions of both of these sort of things.
there. Yeah. Ojunix. Don't die. Don't die.
Keep it concise.
I'm still alive. Don't worry.
Keep it together. Keep it
What,
together.
what you got? What are your final thoughts?
Well, the nerd scored the hot chick. That's very unrealistic.
And I believed him as a character. I believed him as an awkward techie.
Oh
And
yeah,
at least he had a moment or two to shine.
yeah,
Like
it's like
yeah, because you probably know this better than any of us. Is Weatherby actually a character in the games?
nope.
That's what I
Didn't
thought.
think so.
Neither was Donovan, and then he was later added to the games.
Well, technically,
Again,
He-
Donovan
he-
was like a background character that was
Well,
never seen until later.
yeah, technically he was the leader of the evil organization that runs DOA, but he never really went by name and never appeared until 5.
Which was after this movie. So they basically probably brought him into the forefront because they're like, oh, the hell with this movie.
But no, Weatherby was exclusively to this movie for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and those that don't understand because we didn't really talk about him. He was just the nerd guy that worked for the bad guy that ended up turning on the bad guy that had a thing for Helena, who also kind of worked for the bad guy till she realized that he killed her dad.
Father, yeah,
Kind of a gender swap version of Mirage from The Incredibles.
Yeah, Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Mirage is actually kind of hot.
Uh, the actress they had for Helena was fine. It's just she wasn't English,
Like, d-
British.
like if she had some other name, like if she was a character that was an original character for this movie,
Yeah, nobody
her
would have batted
her
an
her
eye.
casting wouldn't have
They
been
would
an
have
issue.
accepted it.
Yeah.
Hello, we're British. It's Tuesday, ain't it?
So
I
my
say
my,
this
my
joking as I also enjoy
Oh yeah.
my British content makers.
I mean, Helena is also an opera singer. Here, she's just, um, welcome guests to the island,
yeah, I point out she's basically a glorified tour guide.
pretty much. Though we
Tour
get
guide
like,
Valley Girl.
and we get the most epic butt shot for her.
Yeah, there was a lot of butt shots in this movie.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
but
the camera was like inches away from her ass cheeks at that
Like,
one scene.
If you're into
like-
anal vor, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, you into the asses, boys? I got a movie for
Yeah.
you.
Because when we
I
were
mean-
watching it, we had it panned by her ass, and I just randomly did like a narrator voice going, "Now entering Helena's ass." That was just such a weird shot. Like,
I mean,
Such
I
a
mean,
weird shot. There was no need to see the other
I-
character through her thigh gap.
right,
thing.
and the thing is, if you really wanted to show off her butt, it would have actually made more sense to be further away, so that you
Yes.
could actually see her whole butt.
no, yeah, but no, they like. I think
You
as
can see her
as
whole butt instead of her butthole.
I mean, she is wearing. I mean, she's wearing bikinis. Not like you're actually gonna say anything, but the fact is, they're so up close to her ass cheeks, you can probably see her skin texture.
Thank you, movie. I didn't need to see the entire female anatomy lined in spandex. I can trust it's all there.
Plus,
Yeah.
if you
I'll
want to
just
do
take
that,
your word for it. I believe it's there.
besides,
Yeah.
if you want to do that, there's a legitimate sources he could do on the internet to look up that. He doesn't need the movie.
Indeed.
Are you saying there's porn on the internet? Get real.
I've got
The
weird final
internet is
thoughts on
awful.
this myself, because for me it's like I'm trying to sit here and think, where would I place this in a ranking amongst the other movies we've watched for this, and I'm at a loss for words, because I guess it's better than Double Dragon,
Yeah, I will
Kind
definitely
of,
put.
yes. We'll give it that.
which
I
is
will
in turn better than Jason Goes to Hell. So yeah, it's the third worst movie we've watched, I feel.
The weird thing about this
Come on,
movie
there.
is that
No.
it's not so. It doesn't fail so much because it has very few aspirations.
It still fails.
It
Yeah.
still fails, but it aspires
fails
to
at
so
even
little
being-
as well, so it
It's-
doesn't fail as hard.
How's it doing
as
even the
something
bare
like Jason
minimum
Goes
to
to Hell.
me?
If
Like-
we ever get to do the King of Fighters, I'll definitely say right now it's definitely better than that too.
This movie is really boils down to, it's just dumb schlock.
And it could be enjoyable dumb schlock, but but a personal fan, it's just
Right.
dumb.
And
It's dumb
let's
schlock,
let's
but you
face
sorta get
facts that the
you
games they're based on are basically schlock, but they at least have some heart in it, and this movie lacks it.
Yeah, exactly. The movie is dumb schlock, and you kind of get the sense that they know they're making dumb schlock, so they're not trying to bullshit you. They're kind of trying to give you what they assume you want. You want hot girls fighting. They don't do exactly a great job of that, but they weren't really making these high aspirations or trying to make amazing art. They were trying to make schlock, and they essentially succeeded in that poorly. But they still sort of succeeded. So it doesn't fail as hard because it doesn't
Don't
aspire
mind me,
to as
Barry.
much as you would expect from something like Double Dragon or Jason Goes to Hell.
So I think that about wraps it up. So until next time, everybody, we'll keep watching shitty movies for you.
Later.
Oh boy.